Hey, welcome to Point and Shoot with the Smartphone Photographers community. This week we talk about dynamic tension in your smartphone photographs. We also take a look at what Amazon is doing with your cloud work and, all of your photos that you're trying to push up to the cloud. Do you know what metering mode is? I have no idea, but we're going to talk about that too. Check it out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Aunt Pruitt here. Hope you're doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. This is Thursday, March the 26th. Happy birthday to my sister. And this is our weekly hangout on air that we like to call Point and Shoot here in the Smartphone Photographers community. In this community, we like to get together and talk about the different tips and tricks to make you a much better smartphone photographer. Because believe it or not, your smartphone takes some really good pictures if you just work at it a little bit, You don't have to spend a gazillion dollars to get a good photo. Just pull the camera that you got in your pocket out. It's usually called your phone. And, size it up a little bit and bam, you got a great shot. We got a couple members that join us each week. Tonight it happens to be all moderators, which is all good. And I'm going to allow these guys to introduce themselves. Let me start with my man down in Tejas, Mr. Michael King. What's happening? He
Hello.
waves. He gives us the Mr. Rogers neighborhood wave. What was that?
Could be the princess wave.
No, I won't do that. What I was thinking.
This isn't
We're
the
live.
pre-show anymore.
That's right. This is a family-friendly show, dude.
We're past pre-show now. This is like real deal, bro.
I'm doing, except for the stinking blankety blank allergies.
Nice. He put in his own bleeps. That's a professional, folks.
I mean, Mike, I got a black car and it's now a yellow car right now.
Yeah, that's how mine has been looking, but it's all right. I'll deal with it. It is what it is. I'm not even gonna try to fight it.
I'm not either. We're supposed to have rain. We didn't get it, so right now the allergies are killing me. That's why I'm muting myself quite frequently. I'm barking, and as soon as we get through, I'm taking my codeine cough medicine.
Well, you
It's
hang
not
in
that
there
time.
tonight. Hang in there and just hold that hot button, and keep it
Would
at
that be like drinking bourbon or something?
That sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
There he goes.
Yeah.
One.
That is such a pro. Good job, Michael. Good to see you.
He's on
Next
it.
up, we're going to go to the state of California, and we're going to go to Mr. WrestleMania himself, Michael Portis. What's going on?
That's right. WrestleMania 31. Sunday, in case anybody lives under a rock and doesn't realize it's happening. We are going. We're super excited as a family. Yeah, just wow. And I've had quite a week. I've round robin to LA. I got to go to San Francisco tomorrow. So I'm tired, but I'm here.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Well. Hey, I'm tired.
Yeah.
All this running and gunning right before we really get busy, doing our season stuff is not the business. It is not the business. I'm not ready for it yet. But WrestleMania, I'm about to have no voice on Monday. Don't talk to me. I ain't answering the phone.
Yeah. And Portis, are you complaining?
Perfect timing, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes back right when it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for having me, though. I'm other than our water pipes bursting for our sprinkler system, life is pretty good.
Nice.
I forgot to mention we're also the home of the regional finals this year at NRG.
Nice. March Madness is on, folks.
Oh yeah,
March
and
Madness.
I'm doing surprisingly well this year.
It's not over yet, Portis. So don't even sweat it. It's not over.
How I'm at where I'm at this year, no clue.
Yeah, don't worry. It won't last until the last freaking game. Trust me. Been there, done that.
I have a feeling I picked solid picks this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not science.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of San Francisco, I want to give a shout out to Phoebe Pruitt. She's over there in San Francisco right now, handling some business there, and hope she's doing well and dominating that city like I expect her to.
So that means your house is about to get burned down between you and the hardheads.
Oh no, them cats already in the bed, brother. I rule with an iron fist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Notice it's quiet here. They're already in the bed.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
They know.
Appreciate you joining me, brother.
Nice.
Next up, my man, Mr. IT Pro, iPhoneography, iPhone MacGyver. Dang, what other titles do you have?
My kids call me
Pruitt.
different titles, but we probably shouldn't say them here.
The Aunt Pruitt Hisser Offer. I don't know. The guy that pisses off Aunt Pruitt daily. Yeah, that sounds about accurate too.
Here, we'll get the little Princess Wave going for you.
In the Princess Wave, Mr. Mike Sweeney. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. And I gotta shout out my hometown of San Francisco.
Hometown.
I'm homeboy of San Francisco. Born in the city proper.
I did not know that. Didn't know that.
Right.
I knew there was something wrong.
All you looky-loos and all that, you can just kind of wander right off.
Dude,
I knew there was a reason I didn't like San Francisco.
That explains it all. All right, let me sip one more time and we'll get into it.
You can kill that.
Good old IPA. Anyway, this week's challenge, folks. Oh, by the way, our smartphone photography community, we also do weekly challenges within the community based on different topics for photography. We'll have strictly HDR, we'll have portraits only, we'll have landscapes only, panos, whatever. And every now and then, we'll get some of these really, really clever community members to come up with a topic. Miss Nicole. Jeez, but Nicole H, she won the previous challenge, so she decided to bless us with the Dynamic Tension Challenge. Dynamic Tension. One of you guys want to explain what dynamic tension is before we start looking at it? Because I'm sure you can more eloquently explain it than I can.
I had no clue, therefore I took no shots.
Okay, so you are default out. What about you, King? Or Sweeney? One of you guys?
I'll leave it to Sweeney. He knows everything.
Not everything, but it's pretty damn close. I give
Well, we're working. So you have to understand that photography is visual, and you can have pictures that just kind of sit there, or you can have pictures that actually kind of work and exercise your eyes as far as directing them or pushing them or just kind of making the brain think a little bit. And a classic use of that is to use lines. So, you're taking a picture of a ceiling or you're taking a picture of a building, you can use the architectural lines as an element to either push the eyes to something or pull the eyes away or to just kind of make your head have to work a little bit at the picture. And it's that little bit of work that your brain's having to do to interpret it that comes off as tension, dynamic tension in this case. Uh-oh, we lose Ant. There he is.
Nope, I'm right there.
The screen.
And you can see, go back to that top pic there, dude. There you are. Now, what that person's done is they've taken really strong diagonals and they've also added some lights and darks. And it really adds a lot of impact to the picture. And those dynamic lines, that V wants to push your eye. Your eye wants to go to the brightest spot of the picture anyways. But now you've got these lines that push it from the corners and push it right down below the center line there.
So by default, your eyes are just naturally drawn to light. Is that what you're saying?
They are drawn to, your eyes by nature are drawn to the lightest part of the picture.
Okay.
But you can kind of fake it and push them around by using dynamic tension, as they say.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty clever contest to look at, and I said I'd throw my hand in it. Let me share my screen with all of the pictures that we had submitted. I appreciate all of this participation we had. It's pretty good stuff, and I appreciate everybody jumping in and voting. We got a lot of votes in here, so I'll just sort of do some random ones of the top vote earners, if you will. We'll start with Miss Tony Creason. All right, I believe she uses a Droid Max. Yeah, she used a Droid Max Snapseed. She straightened it, cropped it, and then tuned it up. Now, I emphasize straighten because I can. My mind says if it's off tilt or what have you, it probably would have screwed with the angle some and screwed with the quote unquote dynamic tension. Do you guys agree?
I would agree, but I can already see one thing I might have done.
Well, I don't disagree. If she hadn't straightened it and left the rails like going up into a corner, then it would have been
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I was going to go with a crop it down so the rails end up in the corner.
Mm-hmm. So, like right here, you're wanting this to be more up there.
I want it in the corner.
In the corner, yeah.
I'd rather see the butterfly sheds.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And what's kind of interesting about that, Ant, is you've got that really strong foreground that slams it into the left side, and then it immediately drags you over to the right side into the upper corner.
Yeah. It's very pretty, to say the least there.
And being a rail fan, by doing it, destroys everything else because I like the butterfly sheds in the background.
Yeah. I love that.
Of course. Jeez.
We're not taking pictures of butterfly sheds.
Train nerd. Train nerd. And King, is there anything different you would have done on this one?
Left the butterfly sheds?
I would probably gone up to the look like the passenger sheds a little more. Brought it, I would have brought brought it in where just like that, where you take some of the blue sky out and you see some of the shed. Because that is a passenger. That looks like it's a passenger line of some kind.
I would almost go with that. Hey, Ant, drag your square up to the top of the image. I want to point something out.
That is not a railroad.
See that white bridge across the top? That's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
When you crop it out, so if you drag that little box down and get rid of it, now you've got the texture of the wooden bridge, and you got that great blue foreground going on.
I love this here.
That white bridge is a distraction to me when you got the whole thing in the picture.
Yeah, that's not a railroad. That's just a walking wooden bridge.
Well, knowing Mike, he'd put his end gauge on it and call it a railroad.
So this view...
That's too distracting. I agree.
Too distracting with that back there in the background. This is more like it here. Yeah.
And honestly, Tony, if I were you, I would crop it something like this, and then I would go into post-processing software, and I would just crank on the clarity. Mm-hmm. Really bring up the texture hard.
The texture in the wood here, especially right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of see, play with the contrast, push the contrast up, punch up the texture, and see what you get. I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
Tony, if you can download this to your computer and go to good old Pixlr or go to that other service we talked about, Polar.com, those options for clarity are in those apps, and it's free to use. So check it out in there.
Or get an iPhone and use Enlight.
Yeah. She's not going iPhone, mister. Nice try. Freaking iPhones. Good job, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next one here. Well, mine got 7. Here. Let's look at mine. Go ahead. This is I use my recently picked up Nexus 6 smartphone. I've mentioned before that I tried out Lightroom Mobile for Android, and in that previous mention, I talked about how difficult it was to use.
Yep.
It is still rather difficult, but I want to give it a fair shake.
It's like Snapseed for me. I can't do it.
I
don't enjoy using that editor at all.
What don't you enjoy about it?
Snapseed, I just, it's just not the way. It's not the way I think on the iPhone. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I don't like the interface is a little wonky still, I think, on the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't like how it organizes.
I live on Snapseed on the iPhone.
I just.
I mean, in fact, a lot of
is
times
another
I'll
thing.
start with Snapseed and I'll drop it in something else to fine tune it.
I really, really have been enjoying Inlight, right, for the last few
Light's
days.
nice. It's very fun.
I bought Inlight and I really, really like that one as of late. So
Sounds good. I got to agree with you when it comes to interface and sort of the workflow when you're looking at apps. And what I didn't necessarily care for about Lightroom on mobile, it just didn't have that same, like the regular Lightroom. You start right here and you work your way down.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It makes a logical sense.
I mean, it's just perfect to do that. And I sort of assumed they would have done the same thing on the mobile app, but no, not so much. it's slightly all over the place, and the menus are not quite responsive at times. You can select something and it just sort of sits there, and you don't know if you confirmed that selection or whatever.
I gotta say, I've never had that happen on the iPhone where it pauses.
Mm-hmm.
The menus are a mess. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I've never actually had it pause. Although I've had big issues with it syncing.
Like I wanted to try to do, I want to say it was noise reduction, and you get like 3 different levels of noise reduction. And I picked, say, the medium level, and I could see it highlight the medium level, but then there's no real confirmation that it took. So I tap off of the menu, because just tapping on the actual menu option, it doesn't go down and confirm that was your selection. You know, it just sort of sits there, and I'm like, interesting. But nothing else really does that. It's just that particular menu item there.
I haven't had that issue.
But anyway, I put it in Lightroom to start, and did what I needed to do as far as the highlights and cropping and vibrance and clarity, as you mentioned previously. Shot it in HDR mode on the Google camera, and then I dropped it in Snapseed and tried to finish it up a little more with a little touch up. My thought on this was I was taking a smoke break. I had to go to the office that particular day. Went and took a smoke break outside, as in take a walk, because I do not smoke. And I was like, whoo, the clouds worked for me. I didn't really have to work hard because I have clouds that are giving me crazy diagonal lines for whatever reason. And I'm sure.
Are sure one of us? Yeah, I was gonna say, are you sure some of those are not contrails? Because that's a big area for passenger or jets flying over. So
yes, we're not too far from the airport. That's why I said I'm sure some of it's probably contrails anyway. But
I like that.
I think it lucked out for me to have those there. So I tightened it up a little bit. I wanted to work with the rule of thirds and put this particular, what do you call it, dogwood? Is that what it is? Dogwood, right there in that little quadrant there. What'd you say?
Allergy City.
Allergy City. And tried to play with the sky a little bit, because I love me a nice blue sky. And I had to crop out some of the sun because I thought it was a little too distracting, but I left a little bit of the rays coming through there. Probably a bad move, probably a good move. I don't know, but it was distracting when I looked at it. But that is my thoughts. So go ahead, Mr. Portis. What would you do? What do you think? And let's see.
You would have cropped it by 6x9.
No, I don't. You know what? I actually like this crop. I think.
Whoa! Say that one more time.
I actually like this crop. I would not have used a 6x9. I think 6x9 would have taken out something important, whether it be the bottom trees or just I think you would have lost something. I like the cross section of the smoke trail or whatever those things are, and I think it was a wise idea to crop out the sun. The light trails makes it more inviting as a photo. Honestly, I kind of get the feeling like I want to go to there and kind of relax. So
I have taken many naps right there in that spot, my friend.
Yeah, I think it's a very inviting photo. I think the colors are well balanced. I like the way the allergen on the left, the allergen in the center of the screen. I like the color contrast there, especially on the blue sky. All around, this is a good photo. That's why I voted for it. I mean,
I had to fight a little bit with the tree line back here, because they sort of got a little like brushstroke looking, depending on how I moved the contrast. So I just got it to a happy medium, if you will.
nope.
And also, let's make a note at 9. Oh, here it's 9:15. Portis actually likes a crop that's not a 6x9, 16x9.
I took a drink to that one, man. That's
It's this.
But yeah,
It's this. This is tough.
Oh, that explains it.
It's,
I tell you, it's perfect.
no, yeah, it's a good picture. All kidding
I
aside.
like it.
Thank
I
you.
voted for it too. For about the same reason. All the different colors, plus the lines of the contrails, and then the sun rays and everything. So now it's time for Sweeney to destroy it.
He's waiting for it.
Let's hear it, Mr. Sweeney. What are your thoughts?
It's a snapshot.
It's a snapshot. All right. What made it miss the mark?
No visual tension.
Oh, really? Even though I tried, because
I
let
know
me
you
tell
tried,
another thing.
and
Let me
I
tell
know
you
what
another
you
thing
tried to do with. I know what you tried to do with the contrails and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not feeling it.
Is it because it's an overall calming photo that you're not getting the
Could
tension?
be. It could be,
Maybe that's it, because it's a very calming photo.
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what we're doing.
No, we want some visual tension. That is true.
This is not the zen of photography this week.
Of course. Of course.
And honestly, this is a very zen image. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'll take that.
It's a good thing. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the image other than I don't think it fits our challenge well.
And there's really, in your opinion, there's really no way to even fix it to give it visual attention? Any cropping, or what do you think?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
The concern I would have is those contrails are kind of faint, and if you try to bring them up to where they're stronger, you're going to ruin some of the subtleties going on. Yeah. I don't know. I'd actually have to sit there and kind of crank on it for a little bit to see what I could come up with.
Well, I will gladly email you the file and let.
I'm good with that.
Do your thing, man. I'd love to see what you come up with.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, if you're able to, All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for people that voted. Going to take a look at this one.
I like this one.
This
was
here,
fun.
man. It's
This was fun.
He beat me to the punch because I thought about that.
We got lines, we got color, we got contrast.
Tim freaking McCusker. Dude, I wonder which phone he used this week. It doesn't say. I know he has a OnePlus, and I think he has an iPhone, and he had a Galaxy at one time, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I remember seeing this and thinking, damn, he did exactly what I thought about doing. And I like the idea of him having this thing tilted at this particular angle, Yeah,
it works.
I can't really think of anything I would have done differently on it.
Contrast.
The crop is nice.
Yeah, bring up the orange.
I'd like to bring up that contrast. Really get the colors to pop.
Mm-hmm. But this is well freaking done. What else you think, Sweeney?
Well, I was just looking at it, and it would be interesting to see if you could catch it at the right time to get the orange, the green of the glass, but then to get the silver of the frames. Right now they're in shadow, so it's kind of hard to kind of play with that. But if you could somehow bring up those window frames, I think that would really set the picture off.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're multi-tone right now because of the shadow.
Yeah, you know, poor Tim. I mean, he comes up with this great picture, and I'm looking at it going, yeah, you can take it to 11. Spend all day there sitting there watching the sun.
Tim, this is a good shot, brother. Good shot.
Yes, there is.
Portis?
Yeah, I really, really, really like this photo. Like Colin Ray Jaspin really, 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 really like this photo. I when I looked at it, I would like to see more orange, and upping the contrast would be great. But as is, it's amazing. It's a little grainy when you get into the meat and potatoes of it, but I think that adds to the fact they're bricks.
Grainy? It's concrete bricks.
Well, I'm talking of the grain on the glass.
I moved it away to look on my better monitor to make sure, and I disagree with you, Portis, but continue.
It's not the grain in the bricks that I'm concerned with. It's the grain in the glass.
In the glass?
Yes. If you look at the grain, it's a little grainy, where you specifically in that lower the lower left hand window where you can see the reflection of the tree.
I see what he's talking about.
It's a little grainy.
But
not enough to like be, oh, this is a horrible photo, because again, it's a wonderful photo.
Oh,
well, if something like that bugs the crap out of you, a little noise reduction would clean it up.
Clean it up, exactly. Other than that, I get the feel of like I used to build sugar cube houses before I had mentioned sugar cubes when I was little.
Little Elmer's glue and sugar cubes.
And
wow.
No glue. You lick and stick.
Wow.
And stick.
Okay.
Now,
family show, folks. Family show.
Now,
sugar cubes. That is.
What's really interesting is I'm zooming in, and there's some really interesting possibilities by cropping the hell out of this picture.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of those photos where it's just absolutely endless. I like the three lines lines go across, because you could chop it into any one of the rules. Dealing with rules of third, it really is very mathematically balanced, this photo.
Yep. Yeah, you could have a whole lot of fun with this picture.
Well done.
Well done, Tim.
Dadgummit, Tim. Took my idea. King, you there? Mr. King, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I like it.
Barely.
I just got through a bad coughing attack. I like it,
brother.
I like it. I also agree with what everybody else said. There you do see a little grain in the glass if you can kind of clean up that a little bit. But yeah, really punch up the contrast and like that. That's even gray. I just like this guy nails it every time, almost every time.
Yep. That's what's up. All right. So let's check out another one here. Where were we? That was 8. And I think we're up to the top dog now. Yep. Let's go and take a look at the top dog.
Yeah.
His name is Mike Sweeney, folks. Mike Sweeney. Pulls out the iPhone 5S, and it looks like he's on a pool, or is that a pool deck?
I am on the top of the Standard Building in downtown LA, which you don't get access to easily without getting through the bouncers. And they won't allow you to take pictures, but they don't mind cell phones.
Right.
Because we all know cell phones don't take real pictures.
Of course. So they say anyway.
So they say.
Dude.
So what you see is you got the pool, and then you see the reflection of the LA skyline.
Yeah. That is beautiful. Beautiful done. Visual attention wise, it took me a minute, but this little piece right here is what did it for me. Because I went from looking at, that looks like a skyline, but what the heck is that? Oh, but I like how this is sort of pointing to the skyline, but damn it, what the heck is that? That's how I kept looking at this. So, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely a little tense here, and it got a vote from me.
That is a piece of lemon from somebody's drink.
Oh, that California lifestyle.
It's a tough life. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to make the rest of the country jealous.
I love it, man. I love it. What was your thought on this, Mr. Sweeney?
I just love the angles. Mm-hmm. I like the blue of the pool, the skyline. I am a sucker for reflections. Always have been. And the fact, I'm sitting here looking at this thing going, I can actually point to the reflection. Now, the cool red was a happy coincidence or serendipity, however you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
But the angle, the triangle pointing to the cityscape was intentional.
Yeah. Awesome. Mr. King, let me get your thoughts.
This is one of the few pictures that Sweeney's ever taken, and I'm go, meh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My world is crushed.
Really?
It really did not turn me on that much. I said, meh.
And I even had a
It's a
decent lemon
picture.
in it for you.
It's a nice picture, but meh.
Dude. Okay. Well, all right. So let me hear it, King. What different? What would you have tried to do with this thing to try to make it, a little more interesting and appealing to your eyes?
I don't know. I
There's
just
a train in it.
Throw a train in it. Yes.
no, it would not. Just the picture just didn't float my boat. Let's put it that way.
Right.
It's one of the few. As I said, it's one of the few pictures that Sweeney's ever taken that I've gone, meh. It's okay. It's a picture. It looks nice, but it doesn't really impress me.
Now, see, I played with that crop, and I didn't like it. I liked the red in it personally. So
Yeah, I wanted to see it without the red, and it definitely does give it a different effect because it's a perfect triangle, dude.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a perfect triangle. Portis.
Okay, so I don't like this photo.
Damn. Oh, wait a minute.
Here's why. I cannot tell.
We have had a Portis saying, you know what? Let's that 16 by 9 crop is not needed in this shot. And we've also had 2 of the 3 folks on the panel say, you know what? Nah, we're not feeling Sweeney's shot. Seriously?
Here's why.
Not feeling the love.
One, I don't get it. This is a snapshot. I don't get the story behind it or anything. Having said that, I cannot tell, and this is why it works. I'm going to tell you why this photo works as far as visual attention. I cannot tell if that friggin' triangle is pointed up the center of the photo or not. I have been playing on my screen trying to figure out where the center of it is, and I cannot get it, and that's why it works.
That doesn't look like center to you?
Does not look centered to me. It looks like he needed to turn maybe about 3 or 4 degrees, one to the right.
Okay, in my opinion, this looks center of one of the thirds.
It's center. No. Going the triangle pointing up, meaning
this one.
Yep. If you keep that line going all the way up to the center, I can't tell if that's actually center. It's a little off.
Oh.
Just a smidge off, I think.
The only thing off is your eyeball.
Exactly. It could be my eyeball, and I cannot tell what it is.
If you make that notepad long and skinny, we can figure it out.
Yeah. If other than that, I think the colors are so underdone on this. If it's blue water, I want to see blue water, not bluish green
It's
water.
pool water.
It's LA. It's all pools are supposed to be crystal clear.
Unbelievable, man. Tough.
It's
Harsh.
harsh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the
Keep dropping it. I'm curious if I got it centered.
and
Keep dropping
then
it to the point.
I know how much you like reflections.
Dude, that's centered. Or very, very close.
There's not quite enough.
Nope. That
Is
much
it-
variance.
It is a little off, isn't it?
Yeah, there's the variance because
Thank
this
you
was
very
dropping
much.
it down to the point.
I knew it was off.
Yeah, we got that much of a
I knew it
variance.
was off.
Wow.
But I mean, I think the colors I would have liked to. Is that red felt that's on the ground?
No, dude, that's
No, it's a paint. It's a paint they put on the decking, the concrete decking.
it's
So
concrete.
it's anti-slip.
Oh, okay. The colors are so meh,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
that it's just not what I'm used to with Michael. I see all
Right.
these really
Yeah, that's what I
beautiful,
said.
vibrant
It-
colors that are
This
well
is not a
balanced.
Sweeney picture.
It's just not there.
This is just not a Sweeney picture.
But
He
there's
normally
no-
does better than this.
We're literally talking about the guy. I know it was a DSLR shot, but I literally went in and zoomed all the way in pixel by pixel to figure out which face was swapped, which head was swapped, and which shirt was swapped in that photo of the girls. I mean,
Did you figure it out?
I'm pretty sure I know.
I couldn't figure that out.
We'll talk. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. And that's the kind of photo I expect with when you take a picture, Mike. It's something that will grab me. It will keep my interest. And I mean, now that I know I'm right, it's not centered. I'm good. I'm done with this photo. I don't need anything else.
But didn't you say with it being off center, it gives it visual tension, correct?
Yes, that is why it works. Because I'm trying to my eye is trying to figure out where it's supposed to go.
Oh,
right.
You need to put a stamp on it.
Right now,
the only thing that makes me go somewhere is that lemon peel, and that's just like littering, and it's not cool.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it did meet the parameters, but I just to me the same thing. It's just it met the parameters. It's a nice photo, but it's not a Sweeney photo. It looks meh.
You know what's funny is we've had this situation before where the winning shot of the challenge didn't necessarily overwhelm anyone, but by the letter of the law, or the parameters of the challenge, it hit it spot on. So hey, Sweeney, you hit it spot on. Nobody likes your picture and thinks it's crappy, but hey, you still won. Congrats, Mr. Mike Sweeney.
Now this is the part where he punishes us.
Yeah, I'll keep those criticisms in mind when I come up with a new challenge.
Yeah. Mr. Sweeney has to come up with the new challenge as a winner of this week's challenge. And yes, community members, we are now screwed.
Not really. If it's too hard, I say screw
it. He's just like, whatever, I just won't do it. Jeez, man. Jeez. Anyway.
If it doesn't have a train in it, I don't care.
That was a fun challenge, Nicole. Thank you for challenging us with that, and we learned a good bit with this thing. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
And I gotta kind of apologize to the group with that one that photo that Terry got in. Everybody got a railroad historical lesson in it. The railroads.
Oh, Tony, that's all right.
With the war bonnet.
Getting back to Tony's shot, now that I think about it, that was, in my opinion, that wasn't a Tony shot, because I've said before, she's been doing really well with different landscapes and greenery and playing around with it, and that was the first time for me to see something, at least in a long time, seeing something that is more urban, and out and about in the in the town, and I think she did a good job. Good job, Tony. All right, so let's move on here. There was a few things I wanted to try to get into. I'm hoping.
And I think Sweeney had something you want to talk about.
Yeah, first, let's go ahead and let's let Sweeney talk about the folks over at Amazon. You saw a piece over on Petapixel, is that correct?
Yeah, I did.
So what was going on with that?
That would be this.
Boom.
So Amazon has basically slapped the industry for photography, photo storage by saying, if you're a Prime member, we'll give you unlimited photo storage for free. If you're a non-Prime member, it's like $12 a year. And the kicker about this is unlimited and supposedly for personal. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to figure out personal versus business, but that's neither here nor there. On the surface, it sounds like a really good deal. This is the interface that you get when you use their cloud drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad-looking interface. You can click on it. You can add your pictures. You can select. You can sort. You can look at albums. And the issue I have with this is it's the organization of this.
Oh boy.
There's really no way to easily sort this stuff out. So like I wanted to make a folder. I think they call it an album. But the mechanism to make it is not intuitive. And what's even worse is when you go to upload your pictures, I've got all my stuff in directories, folders.
Different folders.
I can't just click on the folder and say, take this entire folder and the name and drop it into the cloud drive like I can with Dropbox.
Right.
So that's a huge problem in my eyes, because you're going to get all the stuff up in the cloud and you have really no way to find it easily. Because what happens, this stuff right here is organized by date by default. That's great, except when we come down to the bottom, we have to give it a second to catch up. All this stuff doesn't have a date in the metadata for a variety of reasons, so none of it's organized. But yet it was organized on my Dropbox when I did my test copy up.
Nope.
So that's a bit of a problem. Now, with that said, I like the. It's a bit slow.
Really?
What? Uh-oh.
From the people that have AWS?
Well,
really?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm on a 10 meg link here, and you saw how long it took to bring up this picture.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but how big is that photo?
I'm not terribly impressed a lot, but the price is right. So,
This is my problem.
Especially if you Prime. So if you got Prime for the video streaming and if you got Prime for the shipping, then this is a nice thing to have.
What are the rates for
depends.
Prime?
I've got 5 or 6 different cloud services I use.
Right.
Prime I think is $120.
I want to say $100 a year.
It's
no. I'm saying, is this included with your Prime subscription?
Yeah. It better be for $120 a month.
Yes, it is. It is.
I'm sorry.
It is included with your Prime. And let's talk about that. So you get the shipping with your Prime, which you use heavily. They probably lose money on me just for shipping alone.
Exactly.
You get the movie streaming, which is kind of hit and miss because some of the better movies they don't let the Prime members get for free. You got to pay your $1.99 or $5.99 or whatever.
Yeah, I've been a little ill about that.
And now you've got unlimited storage for your pictures.
But
now the good news is they don't compress these pictures. What you see is what you get. What's that?
I think we need to contrast the cost. For the record, Amazon Prime is $99 a year. When you look at what you get with Amazon Prime, when they include this unlimited file server, first and foremost, this isn't anything more than what Flickr does. They have an engine to get more people on to it. I mean, I still hold that Flickr is the most underappreciated photo storage on the planet. I don't understand why people don't pay for it. It's really good.
I pay for it.
The privacy settings in Flickr are top notch, and I think it's just a service that.
You know why they don't pay for it? I'll tell you precisely why they don't pay for it.
Because they don't have to, really.
They don't trust Yahoo.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, but I got mine. I got a pro account, so I'm paying for it.
But if you look at other services, dollar for dollar, I think Dropbox is $99 a year for 1 terabyte. Is that right? Something along those lines.
Yep.
It's $99 a year for a terabyte.
But Amazon, you know what Dropbox brings to the table that virtually no other vendor does?
The ability
is they have the world's best integration into the applications.
Yeah.
Yes.
On top of you're not going to get better integration in it ever. I mean, because there's literally on the iPhone at least, there's not anything that you can't simply immediately save. Like on my iPhone, if I can save anything to Dropbox from any, pretty much every application on the iPhone allows you to do it straight to Dropbox. But when you look at feature set, we also have Hulu in our family. We watch a lot of. We're in that process. DirecTV just literally doubled our DirecTV bill, literally doubled it. And we're done.
Time to leave.
We're done, and so we've amassed all these. I mean, we have Comcast internet. We have the 100 meg boost speed. We love it. It's really, really good, and we're that family that's cutting that. We don't need any of those channels. We pay $215 for 6 channels basically with DirecTV.
Wow.
When we look at Hulu Plus, Hulu is $7.99 a year, which makes it $96 just about for the whole year. At $7.99 a month.
Yes.
And you're just getting the videos. People really need, when they're making this choice, $12 a year is great, but I think they're using it as that gateway to get people to get into Prime. $12 a year is great for your photos, but when you look at everything else Amazon Prime offers you, it's kind of like, oh yeah. One of the things that you get Amazon Music, which is an amazing music service. The Prime shipping, we abuse that every single day. I was only able to find the Toad Amiibo, which is the most important amiibo on the planet, on Amazon. It's a better service, and I like the Prime photos. I mean, for me, it's enough for me just to toss stuff. I mean, if I'm just tossing it, I don't care what it looks like. It just goes somewhere. I don't necessarily need it to be all organized. When I pull it back down, I'll organize it again.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to pull it back down, you need to know, where did I put it up in this cloud?
You gotta find it first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm big. I make sure whenever I bring something into iPhoto specifically, I make sure that I at least tag it with a year. And I would like them. Maybe they can do faces. I really like faces. Don't ask me why. Everyone else hates it, but I like using faces, places, and years is how I organize my photo library on my computer. If I can get that, at least I can get a year, I'm good, because that's just how I work.
Yeah, well, wait till you shoot 20 soccer games all in the same place, all at the same time.
We are taking 8 phones to WrestleMania and 6 backup batteries, and not we're foregoing the DSLR because we're close enough to not need one. So we'll see.
Well, if you're taking all of those phones and smartphone cameras, are we gonna see some more shots from you?
Yeah, as long as Mr. Sweeney makes it work.
What? What's he got to do with it?
The challenge.
Oh, right.
Let's see what he gives us as far as challenge goes. But I mean, like I was saying, at the end of the day, I think this isn't for this photo service isn't for the pros. This is for Susie Homemaker, who kind of takes a lot of pictures of her kids and already has Amazon and loves Amazon and has that trusted relationship. It's just a way for Amazon to get more of your data. And more of your data means more loyalty. More loyalty means more people spending money on it. And that's just how it works.
This is true. I didn't know it was included in Prime, so I got it already. Hey, thanks. I have yet another spot in the cloud.
Yeah.
I'm special.
Now, didn't I read something about
you're special.
Didn't I read something about them having a service where you can put all of your files also? It's not just photos?
I thought they did have like a regular Google Drive-ish or Dropbox-ish service. I thought they did a couple years ago. I'm assuming they didn't discontinue it.
Because I could have swore
Cloud Drive is what it was just called. Cloud Drive. This is the wrong phone, Pruitt. Come on, dude. Cloud Drive or something like that.
Let me see.
Picked up my old phone.
Because I was pretty sure that it's more than one tier that they're offering. It's Prime Photos, unlimited photo storage, 5 gigs of video and files for free with your Prime membership, or you can do unlimited everything, which is securely store all your photos, videos, and files and documents for just $60 a year. And they give you a 3-month free trial, so why wouldn't you?
Why not?
I mean,
because it's Amazon.
I have no problem with Amazon.
You know what?
They've been tracking for years and keep sending me emails. You know what, dude?
If there's one
I saw you yesterday looking at those muslin.
Yeah, I know. I get those same reminders.
If there's one service that knows more about you than Google itself, it is Amazon.
It's Amazon. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. They keep sucking me in every year, getting the Prime subscription.
Yeah, no, I if anything, the good in this is it's going to make, and I was right. My Dropbox is $99 a year, Microsoft OneDrive is $84, and Google is $100 a year for a terabyte, is according to this article.
No. OneDrive. If you got an Office subscription, you get it free.
About how much storage is
1
it?
terabyte.
1 terabyte for free?
1 terabyte.
But if you're at 365,
If you have an Office subscription. Yeah.
Now,
which makes sense.
Which
makes sense. Which who doesn't have that? I mean, then what was I gonna ask? I lost it. It's gone. But Flickr's that's what it was. Flickr's 1 terabyte also for free.
It's a sign of old age.
It's a sign of tired.
It's funny because you mentioned Flickr. Mr. King and I were talking about Flickr last week, and I guess I need to start throwing some stuff up there too, because it seems like this getting a little more popular and a little more eyeballs over there.
Well, because people are realizing, wait a second, I'm getting 1 terabyte for free.
For nothing.
Oh yeah. And whenever I edit a bunch of my photos in Lightroom, when I want to share them, automatically I just put a bunch of pictures I took of some blue jays that have been flying around here and some doves, and I've been throwing up on Flickr. I use it a lot. I've always had, ever since I've had it, I just went ahead and just pay for a pro account.
But I have a pro account also. But what benefits are there of a pro account? There are none. It's the same storage as far as I understand. It's the same storage. Only thing you're doing is you're paying to not see ads. I see ads everywhere I go.
I care less about ads on the internet.
And all I have to do is sign up for a Yahoo email address. Okay, not like I don't have 50,000 email addresses on every other service on the planet already. That's one more. This email address comes with 1 terabyte of photo storage. Excellent.
True. Testify, Portis, testify.
It's like, it becomes like, why do you want me to pay for this? I'm not going to. This is stupid.
Wow.
And that's why Yahoo doesn't make money.
Yeah, well,
just saying.
That's why Amazon will survive and the rest won't.
I'm going to give Yahoo and Flickr a fair shake. I promise. I mean, I've been putting things here in just the regular Google Cloud storage or whatever, but I just don't know if it's getting the same eyeballs. I like people to see the stuff that I capture, and then I have a 500px account and it gets a few eyeballs, and let's see what happens with Flickr.
The only saving grace that Flickr had is the community infrastructure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's a wealth of knowledge out there on Flickr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In all the various communities as far as techniques go and how to do different things and so on and so forth. And that's always been one of its strongest points.
I don't know if you can see my screen, but that's something I threw up on Flickr today.
It's pretty.
And the idea, the wealth of knowledge of, or the power behind, what can my camera? I bought this camera. What kind of pictures can I take with it? The camera finder is I mean, I can't tell you how many lens choices and camera bodies and things like that simply have come down to, wait a second, on Flickr, what kind of pictures are people taking with it?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody go use Flickr, forget Amazon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do I hear an amen here?
I got so much stuff on Flickr.
Nice. Let's move on. I wanted to look at
metering.
Metering. This past week, I've been trying to take more shots. I'm making a conscious effort of shooting more photos, whether it's with my phone or whether it's with that camera that I got from HTC. Just get out there and go shoot something. And
that camera.
I lost the name of it. It's a CSC, Sony NEX5T. There. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get used to that thing.
Because that's a horrible name.
Just call it TC. That camera.
HTC. HTC.
It takes nice photos. But
that's right.
I wanted to
hate
use
that
more.
camera. HTC.
Oh God, I got a feeling I'm gonna get an email from HTC tonight. Jeez. So I went out and I wanted to do some long exposure shots and just play around with it a little bit. I had previously tried it on my old phone, the One Max, and there was an app on there called Long Exposure that I thought was absolutely horrible in getting a long exposure shot. And I tried Camera FV5 on that old phone, and it didn't quite work as well. I guess the hardware wasn't up to snuff. So with this new phone, I use the same app, Camera FV5, and it worked pretty daggone well, other than my shutter on my phone is only maxed out at half a second for long exposures. It doesn't go any higher than that, unfortunately.
Why? Isn't
I
that
didn't
an app?
know
Isn't
that.
that app controlled?
No, somebody in the community, one of our new members pointed it out that he saw in the specs that that's the max of that particular camera. Because I remember setting it up in the app because I found the sweet spot being on my camera, the Sony camera, was being right around 1.3 seconds. So I tried to set it up for at least 1 second on the smartphone, or even a second and a half, according to the app interface. Shot it, got home and looked at the EXIF data, and it said, no, 0.5 for every single one of them. But besides that, there was another option inside of that particular app that talked about metering. I had no idea what the heck metering was, and I assumed it had something to do with focal points or whatnot, but I don't know. I'm going to share a screen of interface here. I found it here on YouTube, but that's the UI for the Camera FV app, and you get metering mode, and it's got 3 different options there. I don't quite get what they mean. I hate that I'm just not finding this video because it looks like this guy explains it a little more when he taps on the different options. You can see that it looks like a focal point changes on it.
Yes, it is. It's
But
where the point
what
of
is
focus
it?
is. It's where the point of focus is because it's.
Is that metering you're doing when you tap the phone?
No. Metering mode is not where your focus point is.
What's metering mode? What is metering mode?
Metering mode is you can have basically spot metering, you can have center weighted, or you can have average. So if you look at a scene, any scene, you can, for example, if I'm shooting a face and I got the sun behind me, and I use the normal average metering mode, my face is going to go dark because the light behind is so overpowering. I got so much shadow here, and the camera's trying to figure out what the average of the entire scene is, exposure-wise. If I take a spot meter and I spot meter my head or my nose or whatever, something that's in the shadow from the backlighting, the camera's smart enough to ignore everything behind me, set the metering where it exposes my face correctly regardless what happens behind me. That's spot metering. Your center weight basically takes the center of the frame, whatever it is, and then averages that, regardless of how bright the background is, regardless of how dark the center is.
Okay,
it's
so
going
wait.
to be an average of just the center part.
So it is essentially when you tap for exposure.
Right.
Well, in this case, he's showing 3 meterings. He's got average, which is on the left, center, which is in the center, and he's got spot on the far right. So you're telling the camera you're going to pick your exposure based on one of these 3 buttons, and you're going to pick one of those 3 buttons depending on the scene you're trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
Which has nothing to do with exposure per se.
Which is using an average shot.
It's all about telling the camera. Average would be something like a landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Average is inside your house. Average is just that. It's average. It's snapshot.
So this one here would be the average one?
Yeah. I typically never use average. I typically use either center weighted or spot.
Okay.
And
I use spot.
You gotta be careful with spot because people say, "Well, I like spot because, I'm always spotting right on my target." Well, that's great until you remember that your camera sensor on your smartphone has only got like a 3-stop latitude for the dark, and you can blow your highlights really easy. So you kind of have to cut the middle there and go more with a center weight, and then change and post whatever it is you're trying to get focused on.
Interesting.
Because see, I'm also used when I see the spot metering is I use that on the SLR because if you look inside your viewfinder, you have all those dots that you have for your focal point. If you want to put that on wherever you want your lens to automatically, if you have autofocus turned on, to automatically focus on it. But on that, yeah, I use spot for certain things on the smartphone, but I normally leave it in the the average because it is. As Sweeney said, you can blow stuff out.
Okay, I'm going to go with the non-pro question. Where is this on a smartphone?
All right.
What app uses that on an iPhone? Okay, iPhone specifically. Are there even any apps that use that?
See, he wasn't paying attention to anything I just said, obviously, because I just said
Android.
camera and
No, he wasn't.
5V.
No. Okay, that's Android. Is there one on iOS?
It probably is. You have like one of the largest market share. You have to have an app.
I have a bazillion camera apps and have never seen that.
Well, it's only been, but that's true, but it's only been recently that Apple's given us the privilege of writing applications against most of the API for the camera.
That's true. You're right.
So, in fact, I've been told, even with what we have, I've been told from some of my developer buddies, even with what they've got today, they still don't have access to everything.
Damn, they're still locking it down.
So there may not be. There's still.
I don't think.
That's Apple.
I mean, I literally look at thousands upon thousands of apps. I mean, honestly, camera apps and my purchases are at least, I want to say 60% of my things are specifically camera and video purchases. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything like this on the iPhone at all.
Yeah, but again, that's probably because of the different API restrictions too.
Okay.
It's easy enough to see what Mr. Google has to say.
Camera Plus. There is a something's kind of basically your exposure stuff.
But there's a fine line between the exposure and metering, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Your metering will give you the exposure.
Okay.
But you have to say what kind of metering you want to use.
Okay. All right. Well,
and you have to know when to use it.
Part of me wants to. I didn't buy the full version of that app at this time because of stuff like that. I was like, I don't even know what this is, and if I buy it, and will it actually work for me? But now that I have a little more clarity on what those three different options are, I can play around with it and then maybe buy the full version of it. Now, it did piss me off because the images that I shot, they ended up coming out at like a 600 by 400 dimensions and resolution. It really pissed me off. It was like little comic tile size, It was a nice looking photo, but damn, it was so
very small.
It's like, come on, dude. But whatever. Maybe I just need to spend the $3 for that app.
That's really the one flaw in iOS is that Apple still just locks so much. I can understand certain things, but let us have a little more control over our cameras, please, Apple. Like that spot metering and stuff like that, because that would make it a good camera.
Those cameras be? I mean,
right, it would make a good camera even better. If we're allowed to have, if the third party will have a little more opportunity to get into the API a little more, and you can probably make the camera, especially if they do with the iPhone 7 come out with a, I believe they said 12 megapixel camera.
Well, I think at the end of the day on that specifically, I think the risk they don't want to run is exposing the flaws in their cameras themselves. They tout all these beautiful lenses and everything like that, but if you really get control over these seriously fine details that are specifically for professionals, not mom and pops. These are real. This is real photography we're talking about. It will expose. Okay, this is where this is lacking, and that's not Apple. Everything from Apple is the top of the line. It's revolutionary. It's completely and utterly rebuilt from the ground.
You just went Johnny Ives on us.
I mean,
Can you
Johnny
say?
Ives on us?
I got 2 letters for you. Barbara Streisand.
It's everything was thought of so completely. And
Can you say Barbara Streisand?
yeah, exactly. And it's those kind of levels of control I think would expose just how lacking it is. Because I mean, let's be honest, you can't. We've had these same lenses for how long now? Come on.
Yeah.
This is
kind of getting ridiculous.
As I said, Apple is they're so stand pat on everything that camera wise they've been passed up by everything but Windows.
You'll anger the Apple pundits.
Yeah. Be careful.
I don't care.
Be careful there,
Apple
bro.
needs to wake up. They have nice stuff, and I hate to see a hell of a phone become a joke when it comes to a camera.
I'm sorry. Some dudes are knocking on my door right now in these black suits because I'm bad mouthing Apple. Thanks. This is that
Screw
photo.
Apple.
They won't go to Michael King's house. They know he has guns.
Yeah.
They won't go to King's house. They know he has guns.
This is that photo, and like I said,
the only thing you don't have to worry about is the Apple police are going to be a bunch of skinny hipsters.
This is true.
And if I walked out just wearing a holster, empty holster, they'll faint.
Oh my God.
Smell like patchouli.
And
Probably.
you see here, it maxed out at half a second on the exposure there, even though I told it otherwise.
My question is this: is because it looks like that's longer than a half a second exposure. Just to be completely honest,
I disagree because I can show you one that has a second and a half.
If I could see the difference in it, maybe I'd be. But like, it could be that the shutter, but the software is doing something that the hardware may not be. Because is that a hardware indication or is that a software indication of the exposure?
Hardware, from what my understanding is. Let me grab the actual second and a half that I took with the camera. Let's pull it up here. Oh, all of these auto awesomes. Where those come from?
It's just you forgot to check a box.
That's Google thinking for you.
Yep.
Holy crap. Bunch of auto awesomes. Now where did that's the highlights.
Thinking with the Google head.
Good grief.
What? Okay, so you shot that one with the Moto X, right?
No, Nexus 6. Damn, where did it go? There it is. All right, let me share the screen. Drag that screen over now. There. All right, that's the one that's the second and a half. Well, it's 1.3 seconds exposure.
God, look like Back from the Future. Where's the DeLorean?
And you see this like NEX 5T.
And we could Photoshop that in there.
Yeah, we probably could.
Because that looks like it just went 88 miles an hour and went boom.
And I like that. I wish at the time I had more traffic, but it was about 1 in the morning. I was a little surprised there was nobody on the highways at 1 in the morning.
What are you doing up at 1 in the morning?
I'm trying to shoot more, man. I gotta do something. I gotta do something.
Hey, that sunrise ain't gonna snap a picture of itself.
Exactly. Tell him, brother. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Again, congratulations to Mr. Sweeney and for winning the challenge, and we look forward to your challenge coming up here soon, and hopefully you won't draw any blood from us. Jeez, so sad. All right, I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna let you guys give your salutations and so forth, and let us know where we can find your work or any other things you'd like to plug. Starting with my man in Tejas again, Mr. King.
Well, Saturday I can be found at the my users group meeting at HOG at Bel Air Civic Center at 11 o'clock. And otherwise, I can be found on the web, Google Plus, or Flickr, Michael King 4023.
Flickr? What's Flickr?
Some obsolete service.
It's good to see
like
you,
Quantum
brother.
Link.
Appreciate you coming out, Mr. King. Next
Anytime.
up, Mr. Portis.
Michael Portis. You can find me online at blackandamac.com. Black on a Mac at your favorite social media site. WrestleMania again Sunday, Levi Stadium. I'll be there doing the yes chant. and you know what? Honestly, witnessing a wrestler that I have enjoyed watching for his entire career wrestle, probably for the absolute last time. So it's a lifelong dream.
Who?
And I mean,
Who?
I watched wrestling. Oh, The Undertaker. The Undertaker.
Okay.
It's most likely going to be his.
Who?
Yeah, The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
Icon.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
This is
Icon.
something that I've watched wrestling for as long as I can remember. We've been a WWF, a WWE family, and I'm just thank you for bringing it to California, WWE. I know it happened once at WrestleMania 4, I think was in California, but this is Levi Stadium. It's an hour and 10 minutes from my house, so super excited.
Nice. Well, I hope everything goes well and
It will.
have a fun time and a safe time on top of that. And you better, regardless of the challenge, you better get us some shots. Shit.
We'll take some pictures. We'll
That
definitely take
good.
some pictures.
All right. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.
Lastly, Mr. Mike Sweeney. He's not
Hey.
paying me any attention.
Well, you can always find me at, yeah. I'm sitting here swearing at AT&T Uverse. I'm about ready to cut them loose. I'm gonna make the
Love
move to Time Warner again, because Time Warner can give me 200 meg. AT&T can only give me 10.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, again.
Wow.
I got 50.
Anyways, that's another topic.
Hey, I'm on AT&T Uverse, and I got 50.
Uverse, yeah, Uverse in the last 6 months has just tanked from performance and stability. I'm not real happy with them right now. Anyways,
Done.
so we'll move on. Anyways, you can find me at www.msmedia.me, and you can also find me at on my little geeky MS Media Plus site. And as I'm bad mouthing Amazon, I have to admit I've got that site running on AWS services as kind of an experiment.
Yep.
And the company I actually work at, we moved most of our data center to AWS last month.
Yeah.
So,
Seems to be a trend, bro.
I may bitch and scream about Amazon, but from an enterprise level, it's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It's a trend here recently.
Anyways.
Thank you for coming out,
Yep.
my man.
Yep. It's reality.
Lastly,
I gave up soccer practice for this, I'll have you know.
Oh man, the
Oh,
girls
just
ain't
like
gonna
I
be-
gave up tonight's beginning of the regional semi.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The girls ain't gonna be mad at me, are they, Sweeney? No, they're not. Okay, good.
Nah.
Okay.
I got one hard head here. She's watching something on TV. The other two are at soccer. So
All
as
right.
long as I don't miss the game, I'm good.
All right. Well, lastly, myself, I am Ant Pruitt. Find me here on Google Plus, of course, or you can find me on Twitter at Ant_Pruitt until I get my other username back. Be sure to check out our websites. We have smartphone-photographers.com, which will rerun this particular hangout on air and have little, I guess you can say, show notes about what we discussed and so forth. And you can check out amazingphonephotos.com. Go over there and check that gallery site out. That's all it is. It is strictly a gallery. You don't have to go there and have to, read through all of the knowledge base and stuff. This is just a site to look at some amazing shots, including some from my man down there, Mr. Sweeney. Haven't gotten anything from Portis or King, but there's some nice stuff out there, and it's been getting a lot of good submissions on it. I appreciate people supporting that. Check out my YouTube channel. I haven't videoed anything in about a week, I think, but I'm going to do better. I'd like to do a video review or two here in the coming week. I might do that this weekend. Either way, thank you folks for watching. If you want to join our smartphone photographers community, just request an invite. You go to Google Plus and search for Smartphone Photographers Community hosted by Aunt Pruitt, because there's a bunch of other ones out there. Look for the one hosted by myself and click request an invite, and either I or any of our other moderators will go through and look at your profile and make sure you're somebody that's going to fit, because we don't do the whole looky-loo. We don't do the spamming. You know, this is a spot where you can not only show off your work, but I'm going to say you're liable to show off some of your knowledge and share with others, so other people can learn how to get better at this little craft. You know what I mean? I cut a bunch of people this past weekend. I'm going to do some more cuts this coming weekend, because if you're not active, there's no point in you sticking around, you know. So appreciate you folks having your interest in that. And check us out each and every Thursday at about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere in that area, and to join us live. And if you're in the community and want to hang out, I always ask to let me know so I can send you the invite, because it's open to all of our community members to sit in this, so we can just sit and rap and discuss and tell each other our photos are horrible. I'm kidding. Anyway.
Not really. It's gonna happen.
Really.
Come
Thank
with
you,
your
folks.
16.
Thank you, folks, again. Be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons on these video reruns when you see them. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, wait a minute. It's going to be a lot of fluff in this pre-show stuff there. I just decided to let the camera run, and so you guys can really see what we're all about. No, it's fun stuff. It's fun stuff. But thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you guys on next Thursday. Take it easy. Peace.